You are now tuned in to the 411 for your fantasy football with your host, Autumn Wind Williams.
What's going on, guys? This is Autumn Wind Williams, and this is the 411 for your fantasy football. We are now inside of week 2. I know you've probably been waiting for me to make a video, knowing that I did make a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense, all separate videos for week 1 to give you some type of breakdown with 3 different guys at each position that I'm considering playing in my lineup. Normally, that's not how things work. Why? Because, I do a lot of research, and to come on YouTube and only get 1 or 2 likes and occasionally a comment, that's not motivating me. If you want more videos from me, you have to make sure that you get me some subscribers, some likes, some comments, some kind of interaction, not just spectating on my videos and boof, no thank you or anything. I mean, even hit the dislike button and let me know you're alive. But anyway, what I'm going to do for you, though, on this video is give you a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense that I'm picking in my main lineup. And starting off at quarterback, I got Teddy Bridgewater of the Carolina Panthers going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last week against the Las Vegas Raiders, Bridgewater completed 22 of his 34 passing attempts for 270 yards. He also got a touchdown in week 1 and rushed for 26 yards on 4 attempts. But the main reason why I'm picking Bridgewater is because of what he did last year against the Bucs secondary. He got 4 touchdowns against them when he was filling in for Drew Brees when he was with the New Orleans Saints. The only thing I'm questioning is the Bucs. Actually, if they improve this year compared to last year, it's early in the season, so we're forced to look at last year's data. And also, sometimes let's look at recent variants. I mean, how you look at the Bucs where they were able to prevent Michael Thomas from having a good day last week before he got injured. Michael Thomas was only able to get 17 yards from 3 catches that he made, 3 out of 5 catches. So they may have improved in secondary. We don't know yet. So this is going to be a dice roll picking Bridgewater. It's kind of sketchy, but I feel like I'm going to have him in, a few of my GPPs, especially when you look at training camp notes where beat writers were saying that Teddy Bridgewater has a lot of mobility, and we saw that last week. I know it's only 26 yards, but it was on 4 attempts. And I'm thinking that the Buccaneers are going to try to stop McCaffrey as much as possible. They're good at stopping the run, with the running backs. So McCaffrey's going to gain a lot of his points from pass catching and check downs from Teddy Bridgewater. And if McCaffrey can get touchdowns from those check downs, then, hey, I still win right there using him as my quarterback. Next, I'm going to pick Nyheim Hines. The reason why the field is going more Jonathan Taylor. We know that Marlon Mack got injured, unfortunately, last week in week 1, suffering Achilles injury. I know how that feels because I tore my Achilles before, and it is painful, man. It still bothers me to this day every now and then when it get cold. I think I got a little bit of arthritis. An old man right here. But anyway, like I said, I'm taking Nyheim Hines of the Indianapolis Colts. He got 2 touchdowns last week. Even when Marlon Mack was healthy, he was still getting targets. You look at the whole narrative with Phillip Rivers and running backs. When you look at Austin Eckler, when he's with the San Diego Chargers, I still call him that, yes. San Diego Chargers, he was throwing check downs to Austin Eckler a lot, and it looked like Nyheim Hines can be the Austin Eckler of 2019 for Phillip Rivers. I know a lot of people are looking at Jonathan Taylor. He's the new toy in town, and Marlon Mack's injured. He's supposed to have the starting role, but also look at how Jack Doyle's injured at tight end. So they're weak at tight end right now. Rivers like those short passes because he don't want to get sacked. So I think he's going to be giving Nyheim Hines a lot of opportunity. And never know, he might go out there and score 2 touchdowns again. And the rookie, Jonathan Taylor, who's not, fully seasoned far as with the plays that they have going on, he may not be ready. He might go out there and flop. And, it looked like he's going to be heavy chalk. And if you look at Antonio Gibson last week, what was the other guy? It was another cheap running back that was chalk. The dude from the Eagles, Boston Scott. The field went crazy over those two guys, and look how many fantasy points they got. That might happen with Jonathan Taylor. But if you look at how I was recommending people, I don't know if I did it on this video last week, but on Twitter, I was heavily talking James Robinson from the Jaguars. And he at least got double-digit fantasy points. But this week, I'm going to take my chances against Nyheim Hines. Like I said, he got 2 touchdowns last week, and he's going to be taking all snaps. You know, according to head coach Frank Reich, you know, he said that on the Colts site. He's going to be in there on all snaps. You know, if they're weak at tight end right now, they got a rookie running back, they're going to need some kind of security. So Nyheim Hines is going to be the guy. I think Phillip Rivers is going to target a lot. He might get some handoffs, but I know he's going to get some pass catching. Next at wide receiver, I have Mike Evans. I know Mike Evans last week, he had us checking Twitter. He had us checking everywhere to see if he's actually going to play because he was doubtful. This week, his boy Chris Godwin is doubtful. And say Chris Godwin does play, or he doesn't. I prefer that Chris Godwin plays and play as a decoy, which I kind of think Mike Evans played last week, even though he got 1 touchdown. He only got 4 targets, and that touchdown was the only pass he caught for 2 yards. Now, I'm wondering if they're going to try to use Chris Godwin as a decoy and have Mike Evans out there getting double-digit targets. I mean, last year against the Panthers, he got 17 targets, you know, and I don't know if Godwin's going to make the concussion, pass the concussion protocol. I hope he does, but be more of a decoy. Mike Evans can go out there and really beat up the Carolina Panthers secondary. You know, this game right here, I'm targeting a lot because both secondaries aren't that great based on last year's data. But I know Tom Brady wants to get out there and make an improvement because Bruce Arians was kind of, Bruce Arians kind of talking about him shady, you know, saying that he was the Tom Brady at practice. Because he did play like crap, but his head coach told all the media all this stuff that he should have been talking to Tom Brady about or kept to himself. Even though I think Tom Brady sucked, he shouldn't be saying that if you want to motivate his quarterback. I don't know if that's reverse psychology or whatever, but I already feel like Tom Brady wants to go out there and do some damage. And he may really do some damage because the Panthers' defense is not that great. And that's another reason why I was picking Bridgewater as my quarterback, too, because Buccaneers is ahead. You know, Bridgewater is going to be trying to throw that ball downfield to DJ Moore or Curtis Samuel or Robbie Anderson, you know, and maybe this next guy that I'm going to tell you that I'm picking, and which is Ian Thomas at tight end. I'm hoping he throw Ian Thomas at tight end. We know the Bucs is bad at, bad against the tight end. And, you know, Ian Thomas only got 2 targets last week, but he caught both targets too. I know a lot of people aren't going to be willing to play him because the little amount of targets that he got. But if you look at how, like I said, the Bucs is bad at tight end, they can't defend tight end that well. He may happen to get a touchdown or 2 against them. So that's one reason why I'm picking him. He works good in my lineup as far as a cheap play and allowing me to stack and pick the other players that I want to play around the ones that I gave you guys on this video. And last but not least, who I have is the Colts defense. I'm stacking with Nyheim Hines. I got the Colts defense because I looked at how last week against my boy James Robinson, they only allowed 67 yards rushing. It wasn't any other rushing yards after that. 67 yards allowed rushing. And the Vikings offense is not looking good. They didn't look good until the fourth quarter last week when it was too late to sneak a win. And it's kind of a revenge game for Xavier Rhodes, if you think about it, too. I know they're playing in Indianapolis. I can never say the word right. Indianapolis. I'm going to stop. They're playing in the Colts' home field. I'll just say that. So it's not in Minnesota. So it's not you're like Xavier Rhodes takes a trip back or anything. But he's playing against his old team. So he know their plays a little bit. He might want to make sure that he get an interception off of Kirk Cousins. It's going to be an interesting game, I think. But that's who I have so far for my GPP lineup. We got Teddy Bridgewater, Nyheim Hines, Mike Evans, Ian Thomas, and the Colts defense. And I just picked the best plays within those other slots. And hopefully I win. Yeah, I got to make sure I set this up. I got a qualifier lineup I got to set. I think I'm going to put this one in there too. And just try to research a little bit on what else I can play. And I'm trying to stay away from the chalk as much as possible. Because, man, the chalk was not good last week. What I see right now is a lot of people are they're not looking at Snell anymore from Pittsburgh because it looks like James Conner's playing. But I've been hearing a lot of talk about Prescott, Josh Allen, of course, Pat Mahomes. Running back, I've been hearing the Derrick Henry, the Ezekiel Elliott, Austin Eckler. Everybody's happy that Miles Sanders is back. I'm hearing about Devontae Adams. I got one chalky guy. That's Mike Evans. He's gonna be chalk too, to be honest with you. But Robbie Anderson's up there too. Allen Robinson. A lot of people talking about him because of the squeaky wheel. He wants to get paid, removing all his involvement with the Bears off of his Instagram. So everybody's going after him as well. At tight end, I don't know. Tight end, it's kind of tough because now George Kittle's not playing for the 49ers. He's out. Defense, I've been hearing a lot of Ravens talk, Steelers. What else people have been talking about on the radio and podcasts? 49ers. I don't know if the 49ers are going to do well. I'm kind of thinking of Jets. Kind of thinking about playing against the Jets with no Kittle. And they're suffering at wide receiver too. I don't know. I'm looking at that game and trying to dissect how that's going to play, knowing that they don't have hardly anybody to throw to. I might end up resorting to getting Mostert in a defense, but I might end up just playing the Jets defense. And it's not really a revenge game coming back home to San Francisco, but Frank Gore is playing against his old team. I know Gore is supposed to be playing because Le'Veon Bell is injured. So I'm going to have to dissect this game. Not sure who I'm going to play. But those guys I told you right here, Bridgewater, Nyheim Hines, Mike Evans, Ian Thomas, Colts defense, that's definitely going to be in my GPP lineups. I'm not lying to you about that. Things can change. The only way they're not going to be in my lineup is if they're out due to coronavirus or something like that. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like, dislike, subscribe, comment below. Follow me at the 411 DFS on my Twitter account. If you want more videos, show me more involvement. Besides that, stay blessed and stay safe. Otto Wynn Williams, I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 411 Podcast. Now get ready to make that money. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 411 DFS.